Well, good day there, folks. It's James Kuzno coming to you from the studios here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Now, we know that lately there has been a lot of talk across Canada about the ongoing dispute between the Sikh community and the Hindus. However, it should be very well pointed that this is an issue that's gone back for decades, and you can trace it right back even beyond 1984, which was the year of the Sikh genocide in India. Now, it should also be noted that the Sikh people do not hate Indians, the Hindus, and overall, the Hindus don't hate the Sikhs. There are certain parts of the communities that are at odds. However, what's even bigger is the desire for Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India to find a way to divide these communities. Now, this is something that's been going on for quite some time, and it is something that has really come to light over the last few years with Narendra Modi's attempts through his upper level government representatives and ministers in playing a role through foreign interference and transnational repression in Canada, in the US, and the UK, among other locations. Now, I wanted to come to you and talk to you about Operation Shanti. A lot of people have been hearing about the Sikh genocide of 1984, and of course, people also know about the assassination of Indira Gandhi. However, a lot of people do not know what followed that, and that was Operation Shanti, which actually was to follow the results of the Operation Bluestar, which attacked the Sikh holy shrine and temple of uh, of Amritsar. And this here has been going on. Now, the true reasons behind the assassination of Indira Gandhi had a direct correlation to Operation Shanti, and this is something that many people are unaware of. So I thought that I would take an opportunity to explain to you what Operation Shanti was about and how the assassination of Indira Gandhi actually prevented a much larger Sikh genocide in India. Now, let's take a look at this article here. It's courtesy of Wikipedia, and it is very well written. I think that it very well defines what was planned by Indira Gandhi and what was actually curtailed by her death. So let's take a look here. Indira Gandhi, in her war against the Sikhs, was not satisfied with the result of Operation Bluestar, the Indian Army's attack on the Akal Talcott, with battle tanks, mountain guns, and helicopter gunships. Although more than 5,000 innocent Sikh men, children, and women perished in the operation. Now, keep in mind that there were a lot of people that were at the temple, and a lot of them were on pilgrimage. Very innocently, school children were just massacred by the Indian Army under the orders of Indira Gandhi and the government at that time. And you can see images here of the Gurdwara here and the temple. So this was in Amritsar, and that was after Operation Bluestar. Now, let's also keep in mind that there was the genocide that continued on after Indira Gandhi's death, but it was nowhere near what they would have seen had Operation Shanti have been able to proceed. So let's take a further look at this article, and it says that a direct descendant of Ganga Dar Kal, alias Gangu Brahman, a cook employed in the household of Guru Gobind Singh, her vendetta against the Sikhs was due to what her grandfather, Motilal Nehru, had told her father, Jawaharlal Nehru. Motilal was justified, or had justified, the actions of Gangu Brahman in betraying Guru Gobind Singh's mother and his two young sons to the Mughals because, in his opinion, Guru Gobind Singh's creation of the Khalsa constituted a great and direct threat to Brahmanism. Now, if you're not sure what Brahmanism is, we cover that quite a bit on our show Perspectives on Satellite TV, which you're more than welcome to check out. I encourage it. We do it 4 days a week. with live talk show episodes, myself and my co-host Angus Scott from London, England. So again, check that out. Indira Gandhi had her Ganga Brahmin ancestry confirmed by reference to family records maintained by Pandits and the Matan Shrine in the Kashmir region in the valley, and the confirmation firmed her resolve to carry on her war against the Sikhs. Not satisfied with the result of Operation Bluestar, she planned another nefarious operation on a much larger scale, codenamed Operation Shanti. With that, of course, according to Dr. Sangat Singh, the assassination of Indira Gandhi on the 31st of October in 1984 preempted Indira's Operation Shanti all over India within a week. So it was very much the death or the assassination of her that preempted the attacks and actually basically saved the Sikh people from a mass genocide that was larger than the one that did take place. Now, it also prevented potentially a large war with Pakistan, who they were using as a part of this plan as a scapegoat and in terms of misinformation that they were putting out. And as we know, we see that India still has not given up that pattern of behavior. We see them constantly putting out misinformation about the Sikh community, about Khalistan activists who are moving forward with the Khalistan referendum around the world, which is a peaceful referendum that looks at the opportunity to create an independent and free country for the Sikh people and for those in the Punjab region. Now, for the details of Operation Shanti, we're indebted to Dr. Sangat Singh for exposing Indira Gandhi's venomous plan to wipe out all the Sikhs from the face of India. Dr. Sangat Singh, in his book entitled Sikhs in History, wrote on page 415 the following. Indira drew a diabolical plan named Operation Shanti to carry out a general massacre of the Sikhs of genocidal proportions. Around November the 8th, when the Sikhs would assemble in various gurdwaras for Guru Nanak's birthday celebrations. According to the plan, large-scale skirmishes virtually amounted to a war were to take place all along the India-Pakistan borders. And as I said, this is where India and Indira Gandhi were bringing Pakistan into the fold in terms of making it look like the Sikhs had partnered up with Pakistan to basically take over India or to move against India. Now, it was given out that the Sikhs had risen in revolt in Punjab and joined hands with Pakistani armed forces, which had made considerable advances into the Indian territory. The Sikhs all over Punjab, especially in Gurdaspur, Amritsar, Firozpur, and Kapurthala, and Jalandhar districts were to be subjected to massive aerial bombardments, apart from being slaughtered by army and paramilitary forces. So they were ready to just go in and flatten large areas of Punjab and these other regions along the Pakistan border, and then blame it on the Sikhs and the Pakistanis for an uprising, which did not happen and was not happening at that point. So it just shows the level of misinformation and the level of barbaric violence that they were using at that time and were willing to continue to use against the Sikh people. Now, you need to keep in mind that the Sikh culture and the Sikh religion is a peaceful one. It is one of acceptance of people no matter what religion in which they believe, in terms of helping people to give them a hand up and to prop them up to a better life, not to step on them and keep them down, such as the Brahmin system. So this was very important, but this is what really Indira Gandhi saw as a threat, was the fact that they had a different belief system that did not believe in Brahmanism. They believed that everyone was equal. And that is a big point that they really differ in terms of that aspect about equality and acceptance and peace and just treating each other with respect no matter what. So again, they not to take away from the Sikh uh, abilities, because they were ferocious fighters when they had to defend themselves or to defend others. They were well equipped, but they mostly were the most amazingly trained combatants out there. And people did fear the Sikh warriors. They were warriors, and they were able to accomplish the goals that they set out, and they weren't afraid to do so, only to protect themselves or others. They didn't believe in instigating the violence. They didn't believe in going to war for war's sake. So it was really about preservation of their culture, of their people, and of others who were being oppressed. Now, the Sikhs all over India were subjected to a mass scale massacre, loot, arson, and incendiarism by lumpen elements organized by the Youth Congress activists. Now, again, they were to be subjected to this type of just incredible violence. And I mean, the cowardice of just dropping bombs and then bringing in the paramilitary forces and the army. I mean, they were ready to just wipe the Sikhs from the face of the earth, let alone from India. So, in that regard, though, the elaborate preparations were made by the Youth Congress Network all over India, and they were to await a coded signal to start the mayhem. And of course, that would have come from Gandhi herself. So that is again a very poignant point in time, in which, again, the individuals who did assassinate Indira Gandhi, although I do not condone violence, I do not condone assassinations in any regard, it did actually stop a much, much larger genocide than what had already taken place and what took place in the months following. But Indira was not receptive. In her view, sorry, my apologies, let me go back here. The plan was discussed with certain army generals who advised Indira against it. They pointed out that Nazis had used gas chambers to finish off the Jews, but had not been able to do so. And her plan to finish off the Sikhs in one go would only club her name with that of Hitler. But she was unrelenting. Indira was not receptive. In her view of the nefarious Sikh genocidal plan, she paid a sudden visit to Kashmir on October the 27th, when, however, she got one of the omen of her imminent death. Now, she actually got an omen of her imminent death, which is very interesting. Back in New Delhi the following day, records the Prime Minister's principal secretary, P.C. Alexander, she sent for General Vaidya and asked him in my presence about the preparedness of the Indian Army in J&K to meet any unexpected outbreak of trouble. General Vaidya assured her that the army was very well prepared for any eventuality, and there was no danger of it being taken unaware by the Pakistanis. Indira wanted to involve Vice President from that stage, as he was to be the acting president once Operation Shanti was operative and the inconvenient Zail Singh was bumped off. Significantly, Zai-ul-Haq stated that at Indira's funeral that it was with great difficulty that he had been able to avert a war with India. His then number two, Ghulam Ishaq Khan, after demitting to the office of President of Pakistan in July 1993, stated that Indira had planned to attack Pakistan, but was shot dead some 10 days before the D-Day. And again, that was all a part of Operation Shanti. The omen of her imminent death weighed on Indira for the rest of her 4 days of life. That was uppermost in her mind when she spoke of her violent death at the public meeting at the Babinshar on October the 29th. Later in the evening, she broached the subject with Orissa Governor B.N. Pandey at the dinner table. The thought lingered on as she returned to Delhi on October the 30th in the nighttime, but unlike Aurangzeb, who was remorseful at the burden of sin he was carrying, Indira was not being religious and was unrelenting. So let's take a look. Beant Singh, sub-inspector in Indira's security, got the outline of Indira's Sikh genocidal plan from R.K. Dhawan, special assistant to the Prime Minister, and decided to act to thwart it. He commissioned Satwant Singh to assist him. On October the 31st, 1984, at 9 o'clock a.m., Beant Singh, with his service revolver, shot Indira in the abdomen 5 times. In less than a minute, at his call, Satwant Singh emptied his automatic carbine in Indira's abdomen region. Actually, 1 bullet in the head would have been sufficient, but abdomen was chosen because, firstly, they had been assured that she would not be wearing a bulletproof jacket, and secondly, they did not want to hurt anyone else, which a shot in her head might have entailed. So they were concerned that the bullet, if shot into her head, would go through and through and could strike someone else. So they were very cognizant of what they wanted to accomplish, and that they didn't want to hurt anybody that happened to be there at the time. So again, a very pointed and directed action. Beant Singh had cautioned Satwant Singh to ensure that his friend Dhawan was not hurt in the melee. After shooting Indira, both threw down their weapons, and Beant Singh said, "I have done what I had to do, you do what you want to do." And that was it. They had a very targeted plan, and they executed it. And at the end of the day, it probably saved just hundreds of thousands of lives at the very least. And yeah, it just was a horrible event that when you hear a lot about Indira Gandhi's death, a lot of people speak out as if it was just strictly in relation to retaliation for Operation Bluestar in Amritsar, but that is not the case. It was actually preemptive to prevent a much larger scale genocide against the Sikh population. So I hope that brings some clarity as to what Operation Shanti was. Once again, I would like to thank the Sikhi Wiki for their information, and you can find them at sikhiwiki.org. Once again, this has been James Kuzno coming to you from the studios here in Vancouver, British Columbia. And don't forget to tune in and watch Angus and myself on Perspectives on Sutlej TV 4 days a week. And you can find that at www.youtube.com/sutlejtv.com. That's SATLUJTV.com. Or sorry, there's no .com at the end. It's the @ symbol. So we'll post that in the video so you can find the link and join us there as well for our regular show. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Thanks for joining me.